Now, I've already apologized to the parents over and over again. I don't apologize to you.
Objection.
Don't apologize to you.
Attorney Norm Pattis called it strategic.
We thought it was vicious and uncalled for and gratuitous.
But at the same time, the plaintiff's attorneys called for a recess to determine how they'd orchestrate the rest of the day.
You think I could book that for like the weekend of the 14th when the soundtrack comes out? If so, bump somebody. All right, thanks. I love you, man. Bye. I got my MTV out. Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
And you're confident on these cases. You don't think you're going to be behind a defendant table throughout the entire campaign, crippled and unable to campaign?
You know, if I am, it's going to show what a fake deal it all is. It's all fake. It's all just fake stuff.
Do you want it televised?
In order to interfere with the election. This was election interference at the highest level.
One person responsible for this nightmare, and he's acknowledged and he brags about it, Donald Trump.
Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce traveled with the president. Good morning, Mary.
2020 rape conviction against former media mogul Harvey Weinstein was thrown out by New York's highest court today.
Now to another big headline. Arizona's governor plans to sign a bill today repealing a 160-year-old abortion ban.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Joshua Kapia, with the Patriot News Hour, your independent with conservative values. I want to welcome you here today. I want to talk about Donald Trump. What do we know currently of his recent attempted assassination? Is it conspiracy? Is it a plot? Did the CIA try to do it like people are saying? Is it just a fringe lunatic that tried to take his life? We need to talk about these things. And on the left, those like AOC are not necessarily encouraging what happened to Donald Trump, but AOC is making excuses of why individuals, Americans, terrorist groups want Donald Trump out of office. You're going to get the truth here because I'm a straight shooter. I'm not going to take the right side. I'm not going to take the left side. I'm going to go right down the center and adjust my views logically and according to common sense. And I just want to bring all of you relevant information here on the Patriot News Hour. So I only have one question. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Patriot News Hour with your host, Joshua Kapia, the independent with conservative values, fighting the liberals, protecting the homeland from terrorists, domestic and foreign. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop. We're going to tell the truth. They want to suppress the information. They want to spread the lies, but we're holding everyone accountable. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Patriot News Hour. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. So, what's our first agenda on the issue? America is a divided country. There is a huge chasm between the right and the left. I'm from Arizona. Matter of fact, Arizona is a swing state, especially for independence. Arizona is going to be a crucial block of voting for the next president in the electoral race to be president of the United States of America. I was born and raised in the oven. I've been here my whole life. I know the politics that goes on here. Matter of fact, Californians are moving here by droves. Wildfires. You have floods. Look at the abhorrent apocalyptic situation going on in Texas right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's a devastating situation. Some say global warming. The others say global warming is a farce. What do we really know? We do know something's going on. Are we causing so much carbon emission into the air that it's changing the weather patterns? So much so that hot places are getting cooler and cooler places are getting hotter. I'm not really here to have a geopolitical debate on global warming. What I'm here to say is something is going on and we're in trouble. Is it the end times? Look at the things that are lining up in the Bible. Even though this isn't a Bible show, I am a president of a local union, I am a Christian, and I am a firm believer that we are in the last days with the proliferation of nuclear weapons, hostile territories and countries set and hell-bent on destroying the United States of America. But I want to talk about AOC. What's going on with her? What did she say about Trump? Or what didn't she say about Donald Trump? Why are we still playing politics when our country is on the verge of attack? It is from the inside and from the outside. Vladimir Putin just told NATO he's going to fire a nuclear weapon at him, which will basically cause the world to descend into chaos and to World War III. Can you imagine that? A nuclear bomb goes off. It'll be like that movie The Road. Chaos, bands, paramilitary groups, no food, trying to survive. Who would even want to live in conditions as such? But right now I'm digressing. Let's watch an audio video clip of AOC and have some further commentary when we're done listening to her. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take it away.
A lot of them are not just interested in removing the president. They are interested in removing the whole ticket. Donald Trump is also very old and a racist and a neo-Nazi.
Ladies and gentlemen, how does anyone take AOC seriously? Calling Donald Trump a neo-Nazi, saying that Donald Trump is old. Well, how old is Biden? When is too old to serve? Look at our immigration situation. If AOC had her way, there would be open borders. She would basically say, come one, come all to the United States of America. Bring your criminals, empty your prisons, empty your insane asylums. We'll figure it out when you get here. But I guarantee you AOC would be one of the first individuals trying to reverse that policy and send everyone back. Look, ladies and gentlemen, when you simply just let people flood across your border, your country is in chaos. You have to assimilate into the American dream. You have to want the American dream. You have to desire the American dream and take steps to implement the American dream. And she keeps using the word they. Well, who are they? Want to remove him. They want to get rid of him. They want to assassinate him, referring to Donald Trump. She's talking about anybody that's displeased, that believes he's a racist, that believes he's a terrorist, that believe he's set and bent on being a dictator ready to destroy the country. So she's giving all of these platitudes, which reveals to me psychologically it's an indication of what she's trying to say herself. AOC, the they is you. And that's what you are doing, trying to cover up by playing word games. It's absolutely 100% ridiculous and un-American. I believe with individuals like AOC, you cannot bring the political divide together. She's just too far left. Not progressive, not centrist, but too far left, verging on communism and socialism. And it's absolutely outright offensive and ridiculous to me. But I want to take you to some other videos, and I want you to see for yourself how certain Americans are acting and wishing Donald Trump harm. This is the, whatever you want to call it, Gen Z, X, Y, Z generation. that are indoctrinated on social media, and they just want hits. They want them dopamine hits. They want the likes, and they literally have no common sense at all. I was talking to an individual yesterday and said 20, 30, 40 years ago, the teenagers and young adults and kids would never act like this. Not only do they hate their country, not only do they hate their president, but they're outright disrespectful. I don't care if you have Joe Biden or Donald Trump in office. We need to protect our American presidents. But a lot of these youth want communism, and they'd be the first ones screaming to get rid of it when they're behind barbed wire, with a guard standing there with a rifle in their hand ready to shoot them if they try to jump the fence. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the next video clip on these millennials, or Z, A, B, Z, whatever you want to call them, and let's just see how they talk about Donald J. Trump, shall we?
Just happened. I haven't even had a second to process. You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew, and he missed! We were a second away! We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed!
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't take any more of these liberal young teens just going crazy and running their mouth. I really can't stand it. They should probably be deported. We should have a deportation program for individuals like her, stating and promoting violence with no respect for the country she lives in and no respect for the President of the United States of America. So that's going to be the last sound bite I play, because I'm not even able to handle it at this point. But let's go to the RNC. How many of you grew up watching Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, the Killer Bee, going to the WWF wrestling matches? Well, Donald Trump is pulling all the stops off. He's pulling them all out from the Teamsters president, which we will go into that, and I'll give you some of my analysis, because that's a very strange and awkward thing. Republicans are never friendly to unions. So there's something dynamic, and there's a tectonic shift when it comes to the political environment that a lot of people don't know what's going on. And if I entered the room with the Teamsters president as the president and Donald Trump, I'd basically ask them both, what the hell is going on? There are things going on behind the scenes that we just don't know about. But, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump and his campaign are pulling out all the stops, especially Hulk Hogan. I've said it before, I'm not a huge fan of Donald Trump. I'm just going to admit it. I'm not. But there's some things that I do like about him. As far as policy is concerned, not in his personal life at all whatsoever. I do want the border secure. I do want immigration handled, but I wanted it handled the correct way. Not duct tape and bubblegum measures, not closing the border partially. Let's just close the thing for good and stop encouraging people to break the law and come over here. Lower taxes for Americans, that's a good thing for middle class and poor Americans, not the rich, not giving them so many loopholes. Billionaires get tax returns. I don't appreciate that. Do I believe in drilling for oil? Absolutely. Do I believe in gasoline engines? Absolutely. Do I believe in renewable energies and sustainable energies? Absolutely, 1,000%. I don't got to pick a side on either of the equation when it comes to that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pro-life. I'm not pro-choice, so even at the Democrat side, I am totally opposed to taking life. But at the same time, even me as a pastor, people say, what is the problem, Joshua? And I do tell them, we really don't live in a moral society anymore. We're all sinners, we all mess up, we all slip, we all fall. But politically, globally, especially the United States of America, we don't live in a moral society. We have fallen to such a far degree. It's let's have sex first and ask questions later. I'll get to know you next week when I wake up in bed next to you. We just don't have the values we used to have. we do have an element of the values, and a lot of the values are with the baby boomers, and the older generations. But a lot of the kids, latchkey kids, non-parental involvement in their lives, not having fundamental skills in the workplace, and having a good foundation and moral base in Christ, it's just not there anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I would argue the opposite of we're a Christian country. We're more of a synchronistic, we're more of an idealistic, we're more of a idolatrous in a certain type of way when it comes to believing in Jesus. We've just gone astray. We're a very wealthy country. We are a very technological advanced country. We got the greatest military in the world, but we can't confuse Christianity synonymous with the government. Christ went through that already and said, render to Caesar's what is Caesar's. We're not going to go down the proverbial rabbit hole with biblical theology and exegesis. But I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great country, this United States of America, these United States of America, the greatest country in the world. And I will never put God in a box. And I believe that we can make America Christian again. Truly 100%. So even though I'm not a huge fan of Donald Trump at all, and I've always admitted that, and I'm not a huge fan of Biden, listen, I will say one thing about Biden. He is a pro-American worker. He's probably done more for unions than any recent president in history. And I truly do appreciate that. I do truly appreciate the lowering prescription drugs. I do truly appreciate just things like that he's done, like forgiving student loan debt. And it's amazing. A lot of individuals will say, we can't do that. I paid my own student loan. I went through it. I got through it. Everybody should pay their own. But we'll give trillions of dollars away to wars with our taxpayer money. We'll fund policies and Planned Parenthood and countries and give them money so they can promote and exercise terrorism against the United States by trying to keep the peace. And there's individuals that I know personally that said, I hate Biden. I can't stand him. But boy, they sure went for that student loan forgiveness, and they wiped out up to $20,000 of debt with the new loans. So let's not be hypocrites. Let's be realists. And I want to cut to Hulk Hogan and the RNC and just get some entertainment value out of this and have some commentary and hear from the running one, Donald Trump against Joe Biden, and what he has to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, Hulkamaniacs, are you ready?
You know something? When I came here tonight, there was so much energy in this room. I felt maybe I was in Madison Square Garden getting ready to win another world title. Or maybe I thought the vibe was so intense, the energy was so crazy, it felt like maybe I was going to press that no-good, stinky giant over my head and slam him through the mat, brother. But what I found out was I was in a room full of real Americans, brother. And at the end of the day, with our leader up there, my hero, that gladiator, we're going to bring America back together. One real American at a time, brother. You know something? I've seen some great tag teams in my time. Hulk Hogan and, ooh, yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage. But you know something? I see the greatest tag team of my life standing upon us, getting ready to straighten this country out for all the real Americans. You know, even though you guys are real Americans, you better get ready. Because when Donald J. Trump becomes the President of the United States, all the real Americans are going to be nicknamed Trumpites. Because all the Trumpites are going to be running wild for 4 years. So with the power of Donald J. Trump and all the Trumpites running wild, America is going to get back on track. And like Donald J. Trump said, America is going to be great again. You know, when I look out and I see all the real Americans, I think about how Donald Trump, his family was compromised. When I look out there and I see Donald Trump, I think about how his business was compromised. But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero and they tried to kill the next president of the United States? Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again. You know something, Trumpites? I didn't come here as Hulk Hogan, but I just had to give you a little taste. You know, my name is Terry Bollea. And as an entertainer, I love you too. And as an entertainer, I tried to stay out of politics. But after everything that's happened to our country over the past 4 years, and everything that happened last weekend, I can no longer stay silent. I'm here tonight because I want the world to know that Donald Trump is a real American hero. And I'm proud to support my hero as the next president of this United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is becoming absolutely great TV, great theater. I always tell my wife, Tiffany, there's nothing greater than sitting down and watching a political debate. And that's why I even have some popcorn here, my cinema popcorn, strawberry, and butter. My son just brought that in and said, here you go, Dad. It's interesting. I want to talk about J.D. Vance and what's going on with J.D. Vance. I want to show you the before and after paradoxical situation with him. This guy despised Trump. He hated Trump. He couldn't stand Trump. But all of a sudden, he is Trump's nomination for the vice president. Let's think independently, not on the right, not on the left. What happened to change J.D. Vance's mind? He says Trump was basically a Nazi. He was reprehensible. He couldn't stand him. He doesn't understand complex problems. He tries to dumb them down. And all of a sudden, he's saying these great things. That's how politics works. It's like the back streets and the back alleys of Rome, like the Senate of Rome, ladies and gentlemen. But I do ask myself this question also. How bad must the country think of basically how Biden's doing? I mean, is Biden doing such a bad job? And is Biden's health compromised to the degree that people that didn't like Trump are just turning around and changing things? Look, as far as Biden's health, I take that seriously. He's the president of the United States. He's my president. I don't make fun of him. I don't mock him. There's things that he's done that have been absolutely great. There's things that Trump has done that's been great. What fascinates me is when you point something out wrong about Trump, the Trumpites will say, oh, wait, what about Biden? Or when you point something wrong out about Biden, the Bidenites will say, well, whoa, what about Trump? If you get caught in that political minutia, and if you get caught in the middle of that, how are you ever going to come out of being brainwashed? We need to recognize what situations are, and when presidents do good and when presidents do bad, because they are human like everybody else. I'm an independent, which means I'm a realist. So let's dive deep into J.D. Vance and hear what he has to say before he liked Trump, and let's hear what he says now that he loves Donald Trump. And I will let you, the viewer, decide. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have one question. Are you ready?
Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, wasn't always a MAGA advocate. Back in 2016, Vance was an outspoken critic of then-candidate Trump.
There is definitely an element of Donald Trump's support that has its basis in racism or xenophobia. I know who I'm going to vote for. I'm definitely not going to vote for Trump because I think that he's projecting very complex problems onto simple villains.
But Vance predicted a Trump loss.
But I've noticed this willingness from people who think a lot like I do that, look, we told you so. To all these white working class voters, we told you so. We told you that Trump was going to be a terrible candidate. We told you that you were an idiot if you voted for him.
And in now deleted tweets, J.D. Vance called Trump reprehensible. Fellow Christians, everyone is watching us when we apologize for this man. Lord help us, Vance wrote. Privately, Vance was even more critical, messaging a friend that Trump could be, quote, America's Hitler. But fast forward a few years later, when Vance ran for Senate in Ohio as a Republican. That's when he unveiled a new persona, Trump defender.
Are we having a good time? Is it great to have the president back in Ohio?
I did change my mind about Donald Trump. He was a great president. He's been the greatest president of my lifetime.
I have absolutely got to thank the 45th, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, they wanted to write a story that this campaign would be the death of Donald Trump's America First agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, it ain't the death of the America First agenda.
Vance's MAGA pivot resulted in him winning a seat in the Senate.
And we won big.
And now a place alongside Donald Trump on the 2024 Republican ticket.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's getting late. 12 a.m. I'm going to have to break off the show. Next time, we'll continue on the RNC and what J.D. Vance has to say and what Donald Trump said about J.D. Vance formally. We'll talk about the political rift and how to bring it together, if even possible, in the United States of America. The global threats that we face when it comes to energy, when it comes to drilling, when it comes to gasoline engines. I want to talk about all of that. And honestly, I want to talk about what a Trump presidency is going to look like again versus a Biden presidency if he wins. Now, there's speculation. People believe that he will be stepping down, which there's a good chance he might. Kamala Harris might take his place. Some are talking about Kelly in Arizona. We just don't know. But we need to touch on these topics on the next show. Trust me, I would stay here all night if I could. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me today. My name is Joshua Kapia from the Patriot News Hour. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Until next time.